Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. Welcome back to Market Call Recap on the Early Buffett YouTube channel, the daily show where we go through BNN Bloomberg's top picks and take a look at the charts, and I let you know what I'm seeing. Of course, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a broker or CMT or anything like that. I'm just a regular armchair technical analyst here, just kind of trying to help new traders out. Today we had Chris Bloomis, who was on the show. His picks were Main Street Equity, Visa, and Fortis. So without further ado, let's take a look. But first, S&P 500 at all-time highs once again today, up 0.2% to 54.84 as we speak, which is a nice move. I mean, this thing, on the, TSX Composite, here in Canada, we're, hitting this area of support here at, call it 21,645-ish. And who knows where that's going to be? Is this a double bottom forming? We're not quite sure, but, everything's been kind of beat down in Canada of late. And the beloved NASDAQ up 0.1%, also kissing all-time highs here. So things are looking frothy. I don't know about you, but it's... a little sign of concern. Just keeps you on your toes as a trader. When things are at all-time highs, you definitely have to, look out below, because these things take the elevator down and the escalator up, as they say. But back to Chris Bloomis's top picks here, if my charts will behave. Main Street Equity Corporation, which is a Canada-based real estate company. They're not a REIT, so they're able to do a little bit more, M&A and other investing with their capital. So a little less constrained versus a traditional REIT, which is one thing that Chris liked. He sees it as a fair valuation right now, that they're going to get more deals. They're in that small mid-cap market where it's a little bit too big for the bigger guys, but this is a 1 billion market cap, so kind of a small-ish company here. So, but what are we seeing on the charts? This guy, had a nice run since February of this year, but you could see here that, this breakout move, this really strong move here, kind of bounced off this 160 right here. So it's coming to settle back on that 160. So I would see this as keeping support. Should keep support here at 160. It's approaching the 200-day moving average as well. So overall, a nice kind of maybe a buy the dip opportunity. But again, it's, commercial real estate. They're more in apartments, so they probably won't be as susceptible to this big corporate real estate issue that's kind of unraveling everywhere in the world. But, probably a good place to kind of pick up some shares, pick up a small position. We're talking about a nice, quite a nice down move here of around 16% from its highs over there when it was 194 back in April. So looking nice, probably a good buying opportunity here. If we take a look here, that's, going, there's this nice channel here. You can always draw these lines for any of the newer traders. You can draw these lines. You could see that downtrend, and we seem to be fine. I do feel that we're finding support here. A bit more buyers coming in. This thing may kind of pick back up. If it gets above this, call it 167-ish, it may come back up to tag the 50-day. We'll see, but kind of pretty constructive looking chart. He sees it as a good dip buy opportunity, so we'll see where that goes. Next on the docket, we had Visa. I covered Visa before, but we could continue to take a look and see if there's anything new that comes up here. What I'm seeing there right away is this really nice trend here. These are outlier moves, so I usually draw my lines. I kind of average them out. So this is, probably a nice, it bounced off pretty decidedly there in that 268, call it 270-ish, bounced right off. But, we're still hugging that, those moving averages, right? Hugging that 20-day right now, 50 days right above. But it too got a little beat down recently, right? So I see this as, probably a good time to pick some up, especially if it gets over those moving averages. We could probably see it, retest this, 282-ish level. But, looking pretty nice. And, Visa's such a great compounder over the years that I wouldn't have any doubt that they continue to execute. He sees, Chris sees the growing market of, digital payments, digitalization. So this is his preferred payments play, and they just gush cash. They're like a toll road, right? So, and they're at a lower than average multiple. So, looking fairly good for a trade, for sure, or a long term hold, of course, as well. I don't think Visa's going anywhere. So, last but not least, we have Fortis, which took a beating. I own some Fortis, and this thing is. It's you could see some basing here, right? This is very much a case of it basing. So where's it going to go? Who knows? I mean, this is an income stock, right? Chris likes it for its defensiveness, people seeking income. It's decent, 16 times PE. They're diversified, a reasonable growth profile. And a catalyst being, as interest rates, at least here in Canada, continue to decrease, these stocks should get bought up a little bit more as that happens. But, on the chart, it's decent. Over the longer term, this thing just keeps going on its merry way. It's a strong one. And power generation, there's a lot of concerns I've mentioned in the past. A lot of concerns for power generation. But what do I see here? I see this. I see it basing out at that's 50, call it 52, almost 53. So it's getting, on the RSI is 35. So, it's not super oversold, but it's a pretty big move here if we, calculate it from those as early as, a couple weeks ago. We've gone down about 5%. So on a stock like Fortis, which doesn't typically, it's seen as a very defensive stock. It's a nice move. So probably a good dip buy opportunity here as well. But I see that area of support around that 52 level, and where it's going to go next. I would probably bet on up. I would bet on the upside on this one. But it's from going back all the way to 2022. That's May. We've had a pretty big drawdown here. We can take a look at it. It's a 18% drawdown. Of course, that's a mix of things, mainly interest rate related. A lot of these dividend stocks got hit, but if you're holding something for the long term, I wouldn't see any reason why you couldn't kind of grab some Fortis here. On the longer term, though, if I grab this line and kind of pull it down a little bit, you could see this uptrending. Connect the bases here. We're not quite, we could potentially tag that 51, call it 51. It may go to 51, 51 and a half, perhaps, before kind of coming back on its merry way. Because there's a lot of selling pressure right now. So I'd be a little careful with this. So technically, though, it's looking good. It's on it's kind of a slow and steady as she goes uptrend. And for a company like Fortis, I wouldn't be too worried about holding it on the long term. So I hope you enjoyed this content. Please give it a like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Have a great one.